Hello there, Eiko. My name's Andrew and I'm the essay corrector here at IELTSpodcast.com. Thank you for getting this trial correction on international marketing. So what I'll be doing today is reading through your essay sentence by sentence and offering you some grammatical corrections, some suggestions for better phrasings, more academic language, as well as commenting on how well you responded to the question and the structure of your essay. So first things first, what are the core ideas of this question? International marketing being the subject, we're required to discuss both views. So the first view is that it is invasive and intrusive. The second view is actually it's worthwhile because it supports education and the spread of languages, culture and ideas. So one thing I would say is that this first paragraph that talks about national security is not quite on topic. What I would have expected for the paragraph about invasive and intrusive would be the disrespect to local cultures that a scattergun approach to marketing, so a one-size-fits-all approach to marketing has. For instance, in some countries, in many countries, particularly the difference between the Western world and the Middle East, for instance, the way that women are permitted to dress, or the way that women choose to dress. So if one company were to market, for instance, a certain bikini line in the US, it would be fine, but if they were to run that same marketing campaign in Saudi Arabia, it would not be fine. And thus it intrudes into the country's culture. Another example you can use to talk about international marketing being invasive and intrusive is the fact that once an international company, such as, let's say, McDonald's, begins to advertise in your country, the size of their budget means it's very, very difficult for local producers to compete with them. So frequently what we find is that international marketing campaigns cause domestic producers to go out of business. So this rise of international companies on the back of the closure of local producers is called cultural erosion. To reduce the cultural output of one country in favour of companies who are able to advertise internationally could also be said to be invasive and intrusive. So let's have a look. So some argue that international marketing has risks. I would use I'd say poses risks, or poses the risk of being invasive because of difficulties involved in controlling markets by the law, while others argue that it is essential. I wouldn't use this. I would just say, while others argue that it is essential and would be useful, or it is useful for education and economic growth, I would say because it inspires competition among countries and thus helps each economy to improve. I strongly believe that international marketing is useful for the development of economy for each nation. Cool. But one view is that it's invasive and intrusive, and one view is that it benefits education, spreading languages, ideas and culture. The question does ask about the fact that it's an economical form of education, but this does not ask you to comment on the economy on the effect on the economy specifically. I would only use the economic effect to talk about the fact that it could be invasive and intrusive. For the spread of languages, ideas and culture, I would talk about the exposure that people can get paid for by these international companies. So if a company runs an international advertising campaign, you don't have to pay for seeing this campaign, but it would increase your exposure to the language and the culture and the ideas of other countries. So in terms of task response, we need to be a little bit more focused on specifically answering the question. So I'll correct the grammar in the paragraphs that you've produced, but bear in mind that in order to score well on task response, we need to cover exactly what's asked in the question and not stray too far from that subject. So as it is difficult to control global marketing by unified laws, some people mention that you don't need to repeat yourself. It is dangerous in regard to national security. It is tough to integrate each country's law and to lose the areas which are not restricted by laws. This needs to be clearer. Because it seems to me that it just says the same thing as this. So when you do your next sentence after your topic sentence, it needs to be more specific. It needs to drill down specifically into the ideas. So marketing worldwide has difficulties in protecting intellectual property rights. Here we could say, and as a result, marketing worldwide has difficulties in protecting intellectual property rights. So after, for example, we need the comma. Again, this example is very, very general and vague. This needs a fuller explanation. What you're trying to do is support this statement. So if it's difficult to protect intellectual property rights, I would expect you to cite a case or a real-world example of when this actually happened. So this information has risks to flow out. Okay. Oh, no. A company which researches chemistry and life science for making products is at risk of information leakage let's say sensitive information leakage, and I don't think this is necessary, and some information could be used in military affairs, such as, and then let's make this a bit more formal, the manufacture of bombs. The relationship between national security and global marketing is therefore close. Once again, though, this is not really required by the question, because this first paragraph should discuss how international marketing is invasive and intrusive. So what you're saying here is that people could steal information, but how would they do that via international marketing? And essentially, the risk that you're presenting in this paragraph is criminal individuals. So we've begun to talk about global marketing, but then you've switched focus to criminal individuals. So we need a more consistent paragraph here. Meanwhile, increasing opportunities to sell products across the entire world is increasing opportunities is. Oh wait. Yeah. To increase is the most useful way. To develop an economy. When companies sell products to the world, they get many They develop a reputation in response to this distribution. They intend to tackle problems and improve their goods by accepting ideas from the world. For example, in Japan, Toyota sold their cars, it should be only in Japan after World War II. Here, because this is continuation of this example, we should use a semicolon. However, Toyota expanded their business worldwide and remade, because this is past tense, so we should stick to it here. And maybe that were considerably improved. As Toyota grew rapidly, the economy in Japan grew also, because Toyota was the greatest company in Japan at the same time. Cool, so this is talking about how we develop the economy. But for the positive paragraph, we should be talking about the spread of languages, ideas, and culture. Invasive and intrusive, languages, ideas, and culture. In conclusion, international marketing presents great opportunities to grow an economy of each region, to grow the economies, or the economy of each region is fine, by sharing ideas and learning skills from the world, even though marketing worldwide has negative effects on national security because of difficulties of controlling it by laws or using laws. So you've gone off topic. You should be much more specific in your examples. Although after I changed the sentence structure, this example did become more specific. But I would spend a lot more time studying the question closely and really thinking about what it asks you to talk about. Don't just talk about the first thing that comes to mind. Talk about exactly what the question asks for. But if you would like to continue receiving these sorts of corrections, you can subscribe to our sentence guide course, the link to which is on this very page you're staring at right now. The course not only comes with a complete guide on how to produce these essays, but it comes with 8 essay corrections as well, over which time we hope to raise you to well above a band 7. Thanks for getting this correction, and have a great day. Hopefully I'll be seeing some more of your work coming through soon. Bye bye for now.